Okay, hi everybody. Holy shit. Okay, no Gojo, but this one. Okay, this is Jujutsu Kaisen, season 2, episode 12, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure of that. Momento. Right, episode 12, Blunt Knife. Oh my god. Okay, so we left off where we left off from last week. Um, Yuji and Megumi beats that old man guy, whose name I don't know, twirly mustache guy. They undo the seal, and now the sorcerers can go in the barrier because it's been deactivated. Um, Several things happen in the beginning of the episode that, you know. First, we have the guy who was with Nanami, um, whose name I have to look up. I apologize for that. He is seen falling from the tower he was on when he was fighting that old woman and her grandson, Takuma. So Takuma is falling, and Megumi goes right into action, gets his bird to catch him, and so on and so forth. On the roof of the building, the grandson of the granny, apparently they thought it would be a good idea to have his body transform into Toji. Bad move, little ant. And in full fashion, with this voice actor, yo, you gotta get that Dio flex. Oh man. He's like, oh, I guess he couldn't handle my body. So basically, his body took over this kid's soul, and he just fucking reaches the grandma. And it was funny because he instantly appears right in front of her, and he's like, "Oh, you told me to kill sorcerers. You're a sorcerer." So that was epic. So they had that scene. That was pretty epic. But that's not the meat and potatoes of this episode. We had a lot of deaths and beatdowns in this episode. So we have, Yuji and Megumi, they part ways. Yuji flies off to go find Gojo and all that jazz. Because now the barrier's down. We then begin to follow Mei and her little brother. They take out this guy who was begging for his life. So it was like... Then out of nowhere, non-ghetto, him, Subaru, it's not him. We already been over this for the last episode before. His body is dead. It's been taken over by a cursed spirit. So that's the whole bit on that. But he ends up he doesn't even fight Meme. He just basically sends this cursed spirit smallpox. The cursed spirit that specializes in diseases, smallpox, to fight her. And we get a little bit of the fight. Not a lot. She says, "Oh, how long has it been since someone threatened my life?" So I was like, "Oh, this show's getting good." After that happens, we get there's a lot of scenes in this episode. Really a lot. We go back to We go to Maki. Maki, Nobara, and Nika. And Maki tells them to leave. She can handle the current situation here with the disfigured humans that are rolling around. So they leave. And they head for, presumably, Gojo. They run into this guy. Now, this guy he's a douche. He's a grade A douchebag. And his name, which I will have to go down and look. And what happens in this episode, he deserves. Haruta. This guy has a hand sword? It's a sword that has a hand on it, and it walks around and everything. So he ends up fighting Nobara and Nika. Nika gets badly injured during this fight, and so does Nobara. And he's grade A. Guy needs a fucking beatdown. Meanwhile, while this is happening, we see Nanami. And he goes around and he notices a lot of the assistants have been taken out, been killed. And I cannot believe the levels of do not with this guy, Nanami. Don't. You don't. You don't want any of this. He struts into that store. His eyes scream one thing. Death. Just, I'm going to kill you. He goes after this guy, Haruta, beats the shit out of him. And he hits him, he punches him, he's straight through this glass. I was like, yo! And he's asking him, where is the location of your allies? He asks him this like about 2 or 3 times. He doesn't answer. And he says, were you the one who killed those people? He says, sorry. He punches him. He goes flying through the window of the store against the concrete. He basically punched him all the way across the street. No! Holy crap! It was such a tremendous beatdown. Like, because I was just taking a look at the ratings, and I like to look at the ratings on Mal. And this is the same, the rating for this episode was the same for Gate Open. That was with Gojo. But even though you look at how what Gojo did when he was fighting the cursed spirits, I look here, I'm not saying it was more impressive than Gojo, but this was just like pure anger unleashed on this dude, and he got whooped. If I was him, I'd take his hand sword and go home. After that. That was just like, yo, you ain't getting up for this shit, son. Period. You just got clocked. But we have that happening. Now, Nanami obviously tells Nobara and Nika to stay put. Don't follow him. He says, basically, you're going to be a hindrance to me, and he leaves. Then we go back to Yuji, and the episode pretty much ends with him I finally understood this guy, the guy who controls the blood thing. I could be wrong about this. I could be wrong. But I believe this guy is the brother. If I can get his name. Find his name. Chousou. Chousou, I believe, is the brother. Yes, I was correct. He is the brother of the 2 cursed spirits that Yuji and Nobara at the end of season 1 killed. Because he says to avenge his brothers, and I believe that's why he was trying to answer it, because Yuji basically runs into him. And that's where they end the episode, when he's about to fire an attack against Yuji. So next week, it seems like we're going to follow this fight. So it's kind of funny too, but I think they're saving Yuji's encounter with Mahito until later on. But this was a great episode. Oh my god, that beatdown. Yo, and you saw the animation was so good in showing how pissed off Nanami was. Like, this dude will rip your head off. He was like, No games. I kill you. But I thought it was a great episode. I'm not gonna say I don't know which one I liked better. It definitely highlighted the seriousness of Nanami, and I was like, "Listen, I like Gojo, but Nanami, man, this dude he cooks. He was cooking big time, big time." But overall, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry, I can't. I was like, oh yeah, oh man, he's gonna get. He did, he did. If he wakes up that dude after that beating, first thing you should do, go home. That's it. Go home. That's it. You're disqualified. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Come on. Baboosh. But yeah, like I said, 10 out of 10. It was pretty good. Pretty good episode. Yeah, so this is how it's gonna be. I'm not really I'm watching the other shows, here and there. I might do an updated anime series review for Dead Mount Death Play. Remember that show? The sorcerer, the necromancer? I might do an updated anime series review for that. Everything else, probably not. I don't know if I'm actually going to do anime series reviews that I know I was supposed to do in the past. I never got to, so we'll see when we get to that bridge. We'll cross it. This is Vodka Night 22. You don't want to mess with Nanami. Guy wears a tie, shirt, but when he gets serious, I'll see you guys later.